Oh, baby.
Go, gadget, methadone dispenser.
I put gin on top of my gin.
And I already am shaved with discomfort in all of my holes.
The collection of short stories by Judy Blow.
You ever smell the inside of a hat?
I liked it. It smelled like you.
Craigslist for hookers.
Craigslist?
No, but worse than that.
Zig and Larry ignore a topic. The best parts of hanging out with these guys. Without the hangover.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, sweetheart. How you holding up, man?
Well, I'm probably better than you, but
Yeah, we had a time last night. Sure enough, did.
Yeah. Well, you know, Nicole left about 8:30 this morning to go visit her mom, and that was the last time I ate, and I shoved a Mountain Dew Rise down my gullet, which is 2 cups of coffee, a couple cigarettes, and now I had a couple shots of whiskey, and now I'm drinking a hazy IPA from a local brewery.
You say a Mountain Dew Rise?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's it's an energy drink. It's low sugar, but the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee, and I'm real sweaty now.
Are they trying to get you to drink soda for breakfast?
Sure.
That was a thing in the 80s or 90s. There was Pepsi AM for when you just couldn't get enough fucking cola in you. Crack one of these fuckers first thing in the morning, you bastard.
Do you like coffee? Sure. Do you want your teeth to rot out too? Absolutely.
Absolutely. You want to pay exorbitant amounts of money for brown, sparkly, sweet liquid?
It's the 80s. Has your boss already had the talk with you about your cocaine use in the office? Try a Pepsi AM. Pepsi AM. It won't rot your nose, but you'll have meth teeth and the jitters.
And the jitters. That was in the 90s. Now we have Pepsi AF. That is Pepsi AF.
Man, that is Pepsi AF.
More Pepsi than I was prepared for.
Hey, real quick though, what's today? Today we are sponsored by, again, Spliff Society.
I would have lost that bet. That's spectacular.
Honestly, yeah, I was surprised. We got the message. I was like, "Hey, we still doing the reads?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely. You're our kind of degenerates." So
excellent.
Just to remind everybody, we are sponsored. I'm doing the radio voice. We are sponsored by SpliffSociety.org. Yes, Spliff Society. You know, are you guys tired of finding old Swisher Sweets, cutting them in half, and shoving good stuff in it to get real ripped, like some type of hobo in a back alley?
Are they actually finding old Swisher Sweets?
Sure.
Just like on the curb, like they're not actually buying the bullshit cigars.
You can. That's people just leave them there, and
I mean, I wouldn't want it.
Oh, see, already with the acid reflux.
Good.
You wouldn't want it, but some of us have had no choice, but now you do. Now you got a choice. SpliffSociety.org has some of the best hand-picked, hand-rolled by professional artisan spliffs. They are toasted, provide a perfect harmonic balance of low smoke and relaxed flavor, as opposed to jittery, anxiety-induced flavor.
I have jittery, anxiety-induced flavor. I don't believe nobody's ever told me that before. It's like you're gonna have to drink some more pineapple juice because your semen has an anxiety, jittery kind of tang to it.
Mine always does. But that's
pineapple juice, wheatgrass, kind of that kind of stuff. That's your wheelhouse.
A touch of freshly mown lawn somehow. 100% organic. Did you know that, Zing?
I did from reading the copy.
That's right. No glue, no wax, no chemicals,
and
no bullshit.
That's right.
Actually, can I reread that in my folksy voiceover voice?
It's your show. Do whatever the hell you want.
All right. It's 100% organic, all natural, no glue, no wax, no chemicals. No bullshit. SpliffSociety.org for when you're cruising around in your Ford F-150 about to go wrangle you some Mustangs. Get high first with SpliffSociety.org.
That was good. You sound exactly like my buddy that I was hanging out with last night, Victor. Who is
Yeah, you had a time last night.
Yeah,
You sent me a text at 12:36 that I couldn't decipher.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to relook at that because I couldn't tell you exactly. Oh, I was supposed to look at what you texted me. Yeah, I totally forgot about that till just now. I have no idea what that was. No, yeah, Victor is my buddy from my old sketch comedy Second City days. I haven't seen him since the pandemic. It's been longer than that. It's been about a year and a half. So we both got vaxxed and we left the women behind and we went bar hopping like we did when we were in our early 30s. And that was a bad call. I don't feel right at all. I was hanging out with a Texan. His father is a legit large animal vet. Victor is the coiner of the phrase when discussing the future of the world's energy problems. He just said, "Oil, why the fuck not?" And we thought that was
can I try that in my oil?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, that's his Nike just do it. His oil, why the fuck not? But we started the evening with a flight of Jameson shots and went downhill from there. 4 different venues. Didn't get kicked out of one of them. Made the mistake of going to his neighborhood bar that he hadn't really been in, that I'd never been in, where people knew him. So there was a whole lot of free alcohol involved. I got home at some point. I'm aware of that because I woke up in my bed.
Yes. Yeah, you sent me a picture of some type of cock soup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm going to read the text.
Hold on real quick. Can we talk about the cock soup real quick?
Of course.
I didn't send you a picture of minestrone with my penis in it. What I sent you, which
no,
I
you
do
said
have.
cock flavored soup.
Yeah, no, I found that it's a bag of bouillon. Basically, it's like chicken bouillon, but it's Caribbean, and it's just instead of chicken, they just put cock on there, and it's the brand is called Gracie's, and it just says Gracie's makes the best, and then it just says cock soup. I thought you would enjoy it, so I took a picture of it. The guy who was working there, because it's right up by the butcher's counter, he was a little. Why are you taking pictures of the soup, man? But it says cock, dude. Come on. It's cock soup. I'm not purchasing this. I will take a snapshot of it.
My favorite, cock flavored soup mix with natural and artificial flavor. So it's just,
it's good.
As we've discussed, it's some dude named Herb who just dips his schlong in your chicken bouillon,
cock soup,
and stirs it about, and then adds just a sprinkling of scrotum in there.
Guaranteed 1 pube per package.
It's like the bay leaf. You win a prize if you find it.
Yeah, what does a bay leaf do? Nobody fucking knows, but we know it goes in there. Just put leaves in your soup. Put leaves in it. I made some
inedible leaves.
I actually made my from. I don't buy chicken stock anymore. I make it just like I do like a freezer stock, whatever. But I did just make that I put bay leaves in it, and I still couldn't tell you why. I don't know what they serve, but I know you have to.
Nicole puts bay leaves and stuff, and she's like, "Well, careful. There's bay leaves," and I'm like, "Then why do we put it in there for flavor?" Well, that's what all the spices in the cabinet are for,
right? And the bay leaf. You also need the bay leaf.
And why do I need the bay leaf?
I don't know, but I know you do.
Because some old witch from ancient Poland. It said, "Put this in your soup and your dick won't fall off." And that's...
Was that ever in question? Was I in danger, crazy, possibly gypsy woman, of my dick falling off without the soup?
Yeah, we don't know. Here we give it a shot.
I'm not sure why the gypsy woman turned into the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond all of a sudden. But whoever's got the magic soup that keeps your cock and nuts where they're supposed to be, give me that soup. I'll pay for that fucking soup.
Because I fear that if I try to do a Roma accent, that's when I'll get cursed.
Yeah, I know. I'm not supposed to say. I'm not supposed to say gypsy anymore, right?
Right.
That makes me upset.
It's okay. It's okay.
But what if I'm not discussing the people? What if I'm discussing a mythical creature that can cast curses?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Because I don't think it has to be Romanian for me. They could be a French gypsy, right?
They could,
As long as
yeah,
anybody,
or traveler. Traveler is also an acceptable term.
anybody though who can look into a crystal ball and like rob you at the carnival can be a gypsy. I think that they can be from Alabama.
That's just Herb. What sticks his dick in your minestrone? That's his misdirection. Oh, well, you like a little bit this soon?
What text did I send you? I have my phone in my pocket, but I refuse to whip it out right now because I just put my dick in the soup.
You were responding to something that I had sent you.
Okay.
And I will. You know what? I'll explain it to the people.
I'm curious to see if I have any memory of this. So yeah, go for it.
I had sent a video. So Gideon, because we were celebrating his birthday, wanted to have a shotgunning contest where he shotgunned an energy drink and I shotgunned a beer. He wanted to see who could do it quicker.
Okay.
Of course, the old man prevailed. I did beat him, and I even let him have a head start.
I beat him, and I also won the contest.
Yeah, well, you know, I just gave him a shot to the ribs. No, I did prevail. But here's the text that you send me at 12:36 a.m.
Very good.
Tell Hodian he is lumped. That was capital A, almost on porpoise, as if it was almost on an aquatic mammal of some variety.
Okay, so I believe that Hodian is probably Gideon.
Yes, I got that much.
I bet you I put lumped in there on accident, then realized it and kept it, meaning loved.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Capital. What was after that? I'm sorry.
That was.
Please explain me again.
That was capital A almost on porpoise. Now I'm assuming that means on purpose.
Putting lumped for loved was almost on purpose.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to defend myself. I don't really know what I was doing there. I bet you it made perfect sense.
I'm sure it did. I told, when you sent it, Gideon and I were the only two setting up last night. I looked at it and went, your Uncle Ziggy says something. I think it's loved.
That was the sentiment.
Yes.
Yeah,
and he was like, he looked up and he goes, I'll take it. And then back down.
Okay. All right.
So
solid. That would have been 12:36. That would have been after I called the Uber and I took the cheap version because I was in no rush. So it's like, you know, it'll pick you up anywhere between like 10 and 20 minutes or something.
Right.
25 minutes later, they had given up on me. It just stopped. Like it got to the 25-minute countdown and then the message just went to fucking eventually. Okay. Just deal with yourself. So that's when I was texting that as Victor was arguing with the bartender that he knew. Because the shot glass had gotten smaller somehow. I was like, do you have a bigger shot glass? The shot glass is pretty much a shot glass, Vic. No, there's bigger ones. I've seen them. We don't have them here. Yes, you do. Sir, I work here. Well, then, I'll tell you what, we're going to have two apiece then. Jesus Christ, Vic. Quit ordering shots. I did realize, though, how much of a degenerate I am because I haven't had a shot in a shot glass of liquor in so long. Now, the first one I just took, which was capping off our evening, and we started at like 5. I took a shot and went, there's nothing in there. It was what, 1.25 ounces? That's when I pour a shot at home. It's like if the bottle glugs 3 times, you know it's quality.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up having several of those. Even when I go out anymore, I order a beer and a neat pour.
Yeah.
That says a lot about me. I probably shouldn't do that anymore.
I do the same thing because I like to have my whiskey prior to the meal, and then with the meal I have my beer, and then I finish off the beer because it's a nice digestif. And then once that beer's gone, right after the meal, I have sometimes it's a nice cocktail, sometimes it's just another neat pour, and we go from there. We see how what the evening does for us. Now, I will say, and I know I'm constantly plugging these guys, but when we go to Luminary, it makes it so easy. The bartender there is also Nikki. So
Okay.
don't
Don't have to remember another name.
exactly. And she is my second favorite Nikki, and she knows this, and she's okay with it.
Very good.
Um, and she has even said, "I better be your fucking second favorite, because if I'm your first favorite, that's some bullshit." And
Next time you see her, tell her she's now the third or the fourth. Say fourth, but don't qualify it. But with any, hey, there's my fourth favorite, Nikki. Well, I met some people.
what I've been adventuring.
Mhm.
But yeah, she puts together one of the best cocktail menus I have ever seen anywhere, and that is including Husk down in Nashville. And that's not to say anything bad about Husk. My God, what a great restaurant!
Mhm.
But
Been there.
it's so freaking amazing.
Delightful. Yeah.
And quick side, because that's what we do. Um, well, how many years ago was it? 5 years ago, maybe
Oh God,
6.
this is dad brain. This is how old people start sentences. This is how
Well,
they start stories. Like, it was 5 years. No, it was 7. Hold on, wait a second. I used that was when I had the dots, and nobody gives a fuck. Say 5 and move on.
well, I'm just trying to remember because
I'm not yelling at you. I'm sorry. I'm
I
yelling at
know,
the
I know,
situation.
but I'm trying to, because I want to give it
That was
context,
caustic.
because I can't remember if it was our first trip to Mexico Beach, Florida, or the second trip. I think it had to be the first trip, because the kids were no, dude, don't make
I
fun
know,
of me.
but you're doing the thing. You're doing the old man.
No,
No, it was the second. You literally just did
no,
it.
no,
You
because
did
I'm
what I
saying
said.
it's important to have the context, because the kids were much younger, right? And we take them to a nice restaurant like Husk.
Mhm.
Now, our kids are super adventurous eaters, right? They've always been. And so we come in to Husk, and we're dressed nice. Yeah, Nick and Will are Nikki and Willow, sorry, are in dresses. The boys are dressed. Gideon's in like a dress shirt with some plaid shorts and a little fedora. He was like, so if it was 6 years ago, he would have been 10. So he's still a little dude, right?
He would have been 9. He just turned 15.
Yeah, your mom. I'm not good at math. I don't have to
So
be.
far, I am riveted.
um,
So-
so anyway, so yeah, 9. So it makes it. And I mean, we come in, the waiter comes up, and of course he got seated with the family of 5 with 3 younger kids.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
was just, you could see the on his face.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Well, hi." And he's trying to be a professional. And, Nick and I both order a really nice cocktail. And he was like, "And what would you guys like to drink?" And he's trying, you could see he's exasperated already. And all 3 of them are like, "Oh, thank you. We'd like to try this craft soda that you have, if you please," or, being super polite, because that's how they are. And he was like, "Okay." And I think it was Gideon that looked at him and said, "If you don't mind, I'd like to order the bone marrow now, please." And he went, "I'm, I, I, I'm so sorry. What did you say?" And Gideon said, and you could see he kind of froze up, and he's like, can I please order the bone marrow now with our drinks?" And he turned super red.
Aw.
And the waiter was like, "Oh, honey, of course," and puts his hand, like pats him on the shoulder, and he's
Yeah,
like,
you didn't do anything wrong. You just startled me with that.
that's what he told him. He's like,
Yeah.
"I don't get a lot of little guys ordering bone marrow." And he looks at us and he goes, "Good job. I will be right back. You guys get some bread and some biscuit. We got biscuits tonight. Hold on." And he comes back and he sets it down and he goes, "And the bone marrow is coming up. Here's your drinks." He's like, "Mom and Dad, yours going to take a minute, but these guys get their craft sodas right now. And the next 2 are on me." And he just walks off. And I was like,
Aw,
and, he,
nice.
and at the end of the meal, he was like, "You guys," he said, "I have to admit, and I apologize. Normally, when we get younger kids in here, they are a nightmare. but you guys are some of the best customers of anybody, adults, kids, whatever, I have ever had. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we'd already put a tip down, and then Nick and I are like getting more cash out and being like,
Yeah.
this guy deserves more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to go back, Luminary has, I order, I don't just get straight drinks there. When I go to Luminary, I'm like, whatever's on the menu, and occasionally I'll look at Nikki, the bartender Nikki,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, here's what I'm in the mood for. Do you mind throwing something together? And she'll be like, of course not. I'll come up with something. And she'll come up with some brilliant cocktail with like lavender syrup and just all types of amazingness in it. So while for most places I'm like, your cocktails are bullshit, I'm just going to order some straight whiskey. When I go to Luminary, I trust them. Put some fancy booze in my body, and let's just see where the night takes us.
I'll have the sparkling pussy willow, please, with the edible flower garnish.
Well, now I'm going to tell her she's got to figure out what the sparkling pussy willow is.
I just and scene. I like the sentiment from that waiter though. Who's like, I do have to apologize most of the time when people, but he did say most of. So yeah. I'm going to guess that means probably 9 times out of 10. Yeah. So I like where he's coming from, because what he's saying is 9 times out of 10, you're going to be right to judge people on sight. And I think that that's an important lesson for young people to learn. I judge people immediately based on the way they look.
Well, and you know, he has said he's been a professional waiter. I mean, he has been in the service industry for, at that point, he said 12.
I was 15. Joking, by the way.
But no, I get it. Come on, you've been in the service industry.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, somebody walks in 9 times out of 10, you can go, fuck.
Yeah, you can kind of judge people on sight a lot of time, especially when you're taking the train at 2 a.m. But that's a different animal. But you basically know the guy with the eye patch who smells like a Swisher Sweet that was found, who's talking to his pants that are wet for some reason. You don't want to hang out with him. No.
We had a dude one night walk into the winery, where, if anybody knows, the Winery Indicator, beautiful place, beautiful dive bar. But this guy comes in, it kind of flings the door open, and he's got that jerky movement as he walks in, and because I'm going to tell everybody in the winery I can see the future. And I said, oh yeah, get the fuck out. And he turns around and goes, didn't see that, and he walked out.
Oh God! Before we get into anything, speaking of, you can judge people on sight. Really, you shouldn't do that, but everybody does. I mean, there's a reason why books have covers, and that's how you sell them. But I did see yesterday, before I started drinking, something I've never seen before. I was out and about in the afternoon, early afternoon. I was shopping at one of the local shops in my little neighborhood, and I saw, for the first time ever, a grown man taking a shit while standing up. Basically on a tree. I had never witnessed this before. I hope never to again. I did not even have the gumption to go up and say, what the fuck's the matter with you? Because you don't really want to know what's going on with my man's day. My block is fine. There's one block over, and I've never had any problems, but there's some interesting cats up and down that block. There's it's criminal. Like, there's been shootings, but there's also a handful of really interesting people that ride the rails and eat beans out of cans, you know. And this dude,
you're talking about my people.
Yeah, it was like,
did you can have my name on Zoom today?
I did not. What is it? You're Homo sapien. Very good. Good for you.
Yeah.
I was walking back, and across the street from me is a little privately owned pharmacy, a mom and pop pharmacy. In front of it, there are 4 parking spaces that are metered. There's like a little courtyard, and there's a sapling. Well, it's not a sapling, but it's a young tree. And this gentleman decided that there was the perfect place to lean his back up against it, as if he's doing that ridiculous. What do you call that exercise where you just lean up against the wall and you just utilize your core strength to keep your ass from hitting the ground?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's wall squats or something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll just call it the bad move. So he's doing the bad move, but he's decided to uncrust his pants from his ass, which I'm amazed didn't take a chisel, because I don't think they'd seen the water since fucking Carter was in office. And he pulls his pants down in front of God and everybody. It's like 1, 2 in the afternoon. The sun is out in front of this pharmacy. He does the bad move while squat up against this tree and literally just takes a dump right there. Like, holy shit. I've never seen a turd come out of a grown man's ass while standing before. Well, bucket list that. Now I can't say that. Do I go and try to do anything about this? No. This is not my day. No, I have a nice, fun evening planned with a buddy of mine that I haven't seen in a while. I'm not going to begin it by trying to convince a man who just shit in broad daylight, while, by the way, pointed at an alley. You can see an alley from his vantage point. He decided he wanted the view of the alley, which I'm not saying shit in an alley, but if it's that or the tree in front of the mom and pop pharmacist, maybe if you're drunk in the middle of the day, you haven't slept inside in quite some time, maybe you're used to alley shitting. Try that out if that's your only option. There's a turn right there, and later on that evening, I was walking the dog. I picked up the dog shit, and I had a moment. I'm like, maybe I should walk over there. No, absolutely not. No, that is infested with parasites. That man has not been deloused, dewormed, anything. I'm sure his shit is wriggling and has been since it was a steamer since 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's a not sick problem.
Yeah, but it's just kind of sitting there now, I'm sure.
Yep. Well, a good rain will come along and wash that away. As someone who looks like this, I can say with authority that sometimes emergencies happen.
Sure.
And the best thing to do is take one of the dumpsters in the alley, push it out from the wall just a little bit.
Okay.
Cut a sock off or your underpants. Brace your feet
or somebody else's underpants
if they get within arm's length.
If you can wrestle a stranger to the ground and get a sock off, and have to take an emergency shit at the same time, you are a fucking living legend.
Oh, well, challenge accepted.
I gotta take a public shit behind a dumpster. Find me a stranger. I gotta wrestle him to the ground first without shitting my pants.
Here's the thing:
one sock.
If I got a shit in an alley, I don't have time to wrestle a stranger.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I give them a squeeze, we're both letting loose of some bodily fluids. Yeah. And so, but you get back up in there, you wedge yourself in, you do your business, you cut off some piece of clothing you don't mind losing at that moment.
Right.
Clean yourself off, and then pray that you can get to a facility to wash. You got to, because you got to keep your mitts clean. And you move on. You don't do it in public.
I'm trying to decide.
I mean, that's still public, I suppose.
I did.
Hey, remind me to not drink a hazy IPA when we record.
Why's that?
Because every 15 seconds, I'm just doing the
Our show wouldn't be our show unless one of us was burping up straight acid and struggling to speak. I think that's really what people tune in for is the horrorness. The horrorness. I'm just making up words. The chucklesome horrorness.
I make up words all the time when we record.
I learned that that's a word. Chucklesome. How fun is that? Chucklesome. It's like worrisome, but it just means funny. But it's chucklesome. It just makes me happy.
Well, I'm chucklesome.
I'm chucklesome today, you bastard.
I did refer to Don Trump Jr. as a chinless toot hoover the other day.
A chinless what now?
A chinless toot hoover.
Toot hoover.
Yes.
Ass vacuum?
Well, toot is also another term for cocaine.
Ah, yes. Very good.
So it's a double meaning, because when I came up with it, it made me giggle, because I was like, he's both a fart sniffer and a prolific lover of cocaine.
Almost went pro.
Yeah, back in, was it 97?
Right after the 8th birthday. I'm not sure when that was, but it was a hell of a run. You don't really see something that's shocking from a youngster.
Yeah, but he can do that trick real easy with the necklace, where he sucks it up into his nose and then it comes out his mouth and he can hook it and give it a spin.
Hence the tattoo, septums are for pussies.
Septums are for snowflakes, you liberal shits.
I want my heart to beat out of my chest really, really fast and then become a real estate agent. Cokeheads always strike me as like high-powered real estate agents in Miami, or obviously tax brokers, like they're or stockbrokers, not tax brokers, not a whole lot of CPAs. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of stress, and you got to think on your feet.
That's a very good point. I just did have the memory of shitting in public, which I did once. I'm very pleased to say that this worked. I was camping. So it's like, but it's one of those like camp communities. So it's like, I was with my buddy in high school. His uncle has like one of these like plots, and we were camping in quotes, but it's like there was outlets in the tree stumps. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of thing. So there's a big like shower and bathroom facility. There were 2 people in the 2 stalls, and they were not getting out of there anytime soon. And I couldn't hold it anymore. So I just walked into one of the shower stalls and I squatted, took a dump. I also had to shower, but instead of turning the water on and hopefully letting the water do its thing, I decided to move to the empty stall next to it. I'm like, I'm not showering in shit. So I'm just sitting there, and now I'm not sitting there. Now I'm showering, knowing that I just shit in public. And I didn't realize that at any moment, which happened, another man came in, and literally I just heard an old man go, somebody took a shit in this one. And that was it. And I couldn't help but giggle, and I'm sure he just stared like at the shower curtain, like there's a kid in there, he's shitting this one. He decided to let that go as well, much like I did yesterday. If somebody just took a shit on the floor, things are going on in their day. You want to live. And the 2 people that were taking a shit, they were still taking a shit after I shit and showered. So like I was going to be screwed either way.
Right. Yeah. I've been there. I was 6 years old, and we were at a giant. It was like a giant flea market. And I was with the old man, and I had to poo. I had to do the poo-poo real bad. I went into where there was supposed to be a bathroom. I could not find the stalls, and I was a very shy 6-year-old. I was very shy. I was a very shy kid.
Mm-hmm. How about that?
And but I couldn't. I was gonna shit my little Magnum PI shorts that I was wearing, and so there was
shit my Magnum PI.
I was gonna shit my Magnum PIs, and
that sounds like a good title for your memoirs. Damn near shat my Magnum PIs. A story about a life in one act by Larry Smith.
It's my one man show. So I went into a shower, kind of like what you did.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shower stall, and I went in there and did my business and did exactly as I had always been taught. Like, because grew up hunting, which at 6, I had been hunting since I was like 3. Wasn't given a firearm, obviously.
Until you were 4, obviously. I mean, for safety.
5, but still. Actually, it may have been, I think it was 6. But regardless, I had removed my Magnum PIs and took my underoos and cleaned myself up like a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, much like yourself, it's like, what do I do with my leave-ins?
Back away slowly.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And I walk out, and there was a dude. So this flea market, people were also like, it was like a campground, so people were staying there, and some dude comes in to take a shower, and there was only one shower stall, and he walks in, and there's my leave-ins.
There's shit-stained Scooby-Doo underoos.
I actually threw them away, washed my hands. I was a gentleman.
I'll take the underpants, but I'm leaving the turd.
And I'm walking out, and I'm like, please don't notice me. Please don't notice. I'm trying to be invisible. And this fucking part-time carny comes running out, and he's like, there's a toilet, and he's yelling at me. And all I remember saying, floppy blonde hair, little bird legs, and my Magnum PIs and my GoBots t-shirt, just yelling, "Please leave me alone! Please leave me alone!" And this guy's yelling at me as I'm trying to, like, I'm walking, and he keeps getting closer and I don't know if he was gonna like grab me and make me clean up my mess. This dude was out of his mind. And when I said part-time carny, you think of every carny stereotype. That was this dude.
And make it greasier. And that was your encounter.
Some dude that was going to chase a 6-year-old that was obviously already terrified of life in general.
Okay, so let's put that. We've offended gypsies and now carnies. So I'm just going to put that on the list for today.
You know what? Sometime I'm going to tell my gypsy story, my traveler story, but not today. But this guy starts running, and I start yelling for my old man. Now, my old man's only 6 years older. He's literally bloomer, the old man. He's 20 years older than me. So I'm 6, he's 26. And this is the old man. And you've seen the old man when at my wedding, and he's at that time was in his 50s. And that man was still, I mean, he's got a little weight on him, but he's an intimidating human being. Imagine him at 26, who is still on the weekends where he doesn't have his little terrified, ballerina boy. He's come on. My grandma always assumed I had a little sweetness in me, is what she always called it. But
just covered his cock in Splenda. Put it right in. Put a little sweetness in him.
Put a little sweetness. And my grandma always said, she's like, Lammy. That's what she called me. I was her little Lammy. And she, Lammy, if you got a little sweetness in you, grandma will love you just the same. I did not realize what that meant. Because I was a little kid. And it took me until I was like 25 to go, oh, grandma thinks I'm gay. Or just a little gay. But anyway, so
she doesn't know that you're full-blown homosexual, but she's pretty sure you know what balls taste like.
Yes, or I'm going to at some point. And she was okay with it. Grandma's going to love you just the same. And I was like, well, I'm grandma's little sweet Lammy. Of course I'm sweet. Didn't realize that that's what it meant, which means my grandma, super fucking progressive. And I want to give Betty Shaw a big shout out. Up in heaven. Thanks, Grammy. It was my grandmama. Anyway.
Pouring one out for dead grandparents everywhere.
Fuck yes. I'm all out of them. And so if there's someone that wants to, you know what, if there's some old man or old woman that just one day is like, I like to drink and say horrible things, I'm adopting these two fuck faces, then here we go, we got a grandma.
Any old woman. Actually, I have a feeling that the next time I'm in a dive bar, it'd be pretty easy to spot one of them. I like to drink and say horrible things.
I've actually had
which is a really weird Twitter profile. But I like to drink and say horrible things. Swipe left.
Yeah, I did meet an old lesbian at a gay bar one time, and I told her, I was like, I'm all out of grandmas, and she's like, well, I don't know if I'm old enough to be one of your grandmas, but I'll sure as hell adopt you. You're my new grandson. And I was like, yay, gay grandma. But so anyway, 6 years old, I'm running from this flea market professional. And I'm like, Dad, because I'm terrified. I don't know if I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah.
And here comes my old man with his big trucker Fu Manchu, 26 years old, wearing a tight t-shirt and his Wranglers and his cowboy boots and a trucker cap, head and shoulders above everybody else in the crowd. And I see him just pushing people aside. He's like a hillbilly Moses. He's just parting the redneck sea is what he's doing. And he picks me up and he's like, what's going on? And I said, he's yelling at me. And the old man turns and says, what the hell are you doing to my boy? And he was nice to you and you were scared. And this guy stops and he looks. And I've got my arms around the old man's neck, so it was like hugging a tree trunk for a 6-year-old. And he's like, "He's shit in the shower." And my dad looked at him and said, "Well, sometimes a man's got to shit wherever he's got to shit. You got a problem with it?" And the guy's like, "No." And my dad said, "I'd suggest you go turn the water on and clean it up your damn self." And then we walk away, and Dad, of course, then holds me out, because little scrawny 6-year-old, and he just holds me out and he goes, "Did you shit in a shower?"
So just for clarification, what was Toothless Joe? Was he spinning yards at me, or did you shit in the shower, pal?
Did you shit? No, Pop, I shit in a shower. And he was like, "Well, don't do that anymore." Okay.
Didn't want to do it the first time. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I didn't seem to have another option.
Hey, so I really, really want to get to this subject because I actually did some research.
Excellent.
So I'm doing this like you would do a good stand-up show. I've got essentially a guest set. I've got a feature, and then I've got our headliner. Okay. Today's topic, Zig, is women who were made saints.
Okay.
Because we hear about dudes, old crusty dudes that were made saints, right?
Okay, sure.
That achieved sainthood. These are the women. And I'm excited to get to our headliner.
Okay. This is all going to be completely brand new to me. I know nothing about this subject, which is spectacular.
I didn't know about our feature saint. I had by accident learned about the headliner saint, but we all know the guest set saint. We're all good with her. But we hear about, and I read up on the dudes that achieved sainthood, and I was like, these guys, we all know about this. Also, they're all kind of they're boring. Like St. George supposedly fought a dragon, and they're like, it was probably a crocodile. He probably beat the shit out of a crocodile and killed it.
I know one of the guys helps Italians find their keys when they lose them. There's a saint that helps you find your shit.
Yeah, these women, I don't know what they're the patron saint of, other than bad fucking assery. That's what these women are.
All right.
So I'm just gonna start with the one everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows Saint Joan of Arc.
Yes.
Heard the voice of God. It was a big we all know there's movies, there's books, there's comic books. We all know Saint Joan of Arc. But did you know that in one of the battles that she fought, she got hit in the neck with an arrow? She fell backward and then sat up, pulled it out, and went back to fighting.
There's a lot of important stuff in a neck.
Yeah, apparently.
There's a lot of tubes that you need in a neck. I do a lot of things.
Apparently, the Lord went, I want you to get hit with the arrow, but I don't want it to kill you, because I want these men that you're fighting against to shit their armor. Because that's when you sit up and they realize that shooting you with an arrow just pisses you off.
That's when you go home. That's when you go home.
Wouldn't you think?
You drop the bow that you just shot the broad with. That you're like, okay, hold on. Now it's gypsies, carnies, and women. So broad. But yeah, they're just like, you know what? I can't. I'm done with this. Do you think that she was schizophrenic or just really good at being a lunatic and being like, no, I hear God. Everybody follow me, and it works? Or she's like, shit, I'm going to keep it up.
Now, Zig, you know what I believe.
You believe she was Sasquatch, probably. I don't know.
But you know what? Someday we're gonna talk about ghosts, but not today's not the day. What's that?
I gave you a come on because I'm like, that's great. That's adorable.
Yeah, I know, and I can't wait.
That was one of my favorite Jimmy Carr jokes forever. He's like, if you buy a new house and you're wondering if it's haunted, there's one easy way to tell. It fucking isn't.
Yeah. Well, I got some shit anyway. But no, I truly believe that she was being spoken to by a higher power. But that's just me, because I want to believe these things.
Okay, if you want to play, that she's the closest thing to like a Middle Earth style, fucking fairy tale. Sure, whatever gets you through the day, pal.
It does. It gets me through the day.
I'm gonna go with more of like a Blackbeard kind of scenario because he got himself some syphilis. He went batshit nuts with it. He started putting flaming shit in his beard, and he like gave himself the moniker of Blackbeard after he was already a pirate. Went, we're gonna get real fucking weird with this, and that's when his career really took off. I think she was probably somewhere around there.
So what you're saying is that you're starting to lighten my beard on fire.
You'll get some fucking attention. You'll get shit done. Nobody's gonna mess with you at fucking Walmart.
What I love is that everyone is like, all the legends are like, no, she wore men's clothing. No, she didn't. She wore a dress underneath her armor.
Huh.
So imagine this teenage, not for this teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Willow, my 16-year-old daughter, just decides, I gotta go fight these guys because the Lord hath told me so. She'd, instead of going, you know what seems practical? Pants, boots, and a nice tunic. She's like, nah, I'm a lady. I'm gonna wear this really nice evening gown.
I'm gonna wear this jaunty floral number and take a fucking arrow to the neck.
But on top of it gets armor. Because while I need to protect myself, I'm still a lady. And then takes an arrow to the neck, sits up, and looks down and is like, you better hope I didn't get any blood on this number that I put on. Very special for this battle.
Got on my dress, my shoes. That fucker ruined my Jimmy Choos.
And now he's got to pay.
Fucker's got to pay.
I can just imagine Joan of Arc sits up, pulls the arrow out, and the dude that shot her just goes, I'm on her side now.
Is it too late to rethink teams?
Dave, where you headed? To her. And I suggest you do too. Shoot her. Go ahead. Shoot her too.
You shoot her. Tell me what fucking happens.
I'm not doing it anymore.
No.
I am not shooting her. But everyone knows about Joan of Arc. Okay. Here's our feature set. Saint, okay, as we know, as we promise, a D+ effort on our research.
Correct.
Here's where the D+ comes for me. I did not look up the pronunciation of this woman's name.
Very good. Are you dying right now?
Yeah, probably. Dying. I don't know. It's hazy IPA. It's just, it fights. It's the Joan of Arc of beers. I swallow it and it just punches its way out.
I don't know what's happening in my body right now. It'll clear up and it'll take me with it. We'll find out.
I'll find out on the next episode of Woo-hoo-hoo!
Of dribbling on my chest.
On the next episode of Verps for Charity.
I can't take naps in my lazy boy anymore. My chest is always this puddle of saliva. Just
saliva and regret.
I sleep over a spittoon.
So I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna spell it.
Okay.
Saint Quiteria.
Sounds delightfully made up. Sure.
Quiteria.
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 Quiteria. Quiteria. Sure.
Quiteria. Yeah. You know what? Tell me where I'm wrong.
Yeah.
She was. I love this. She was one of 9 nonuplets.
Oh.
Which I know that's redundant to say one of 9 nonuplets. She was one of all sisters. So you got triplets, quadruplets, sextetlets. She was the daughter of a queen. I didn't bother to write that part down. Well, like where she was queen of.
Okay. She was the queen of the biggest fucking womb in
yeah.
How long ago was this person? Do you know roughly the year?
Obviously BC, like 800 some.
Okay.
800
BC. Okay. So the largest womb in the world was
AD, because it's,
of course, that's excuse me. Yeah. Okay, very good. So her mother had
her mother squirts out nine daughters
in a row.
all
her
in
breadbasket.
all in one day, probably
Mhm.
beginning in the morning and well into the afternoon. I would imagine.
Yeah,
There's like they just keep happening,
that's an affair.
and they just keep looking. Like how many? What? They're very
After
similar.
after 6 or so, you just start grabbing her by the shoulders and shaking. I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Queen Xerox, I'm assuming.
And her mother lived, which was impressive for
I
the
mean,
medical knowledge at the time.
we hit a button. She just keeps making copies.
Pretty sure a leprechaun's going to come out next.
So this queen was so disgusted because she had one, it was all daughters. And at the time, sons were considered more valuable than daughters. So one, she was disgusted because it was all, even though she was a woman, it's all girls, all baby girls. Two, she was disgusted because she had how'd they word it? 9 pups, like a common animal.
Aw.
So she told the nursemaid, I don't want to see them. I'm disgusted by all of them. Take them to the river and drown them.
Aw. What do you do? Although there is no such thing as formula, so you're going to need, some stunt tits if you want to feed 9 babies.
Yeah, yeah. But of course, the nursemaid, as nursemaids do, does not have the heart to do this.
It's kind of hard to drown infants.
Yeah.
Not physically, but
emotionally,
yeah,
spiritually.
you can do it in a sink if you got the gumption.
So she takes them to a village. And it's like this remote village on the edge of the kingdom. Nobody ever goes there. Gives them to this village and is like, hey, we got these 9 girls. Can you raise them? And everyone's like, sure. So they raise
like a farmer's litter, fucking Labradors. It's like, hey, anybody want a daughter? We got all these babies. They look a lot alike.
We got 9 of them.
We got 9 of them.
And so they were like, absolutely, sure. We'll take these kids. This village raises them, and they became, I want to say it right, a non-uplit warrior gang. So they were raised up, were taught to fight, and they decided that they would wage guerrilla warfare against the Roman Empire.
Well, we have to pitch this to Netflix now because they'll make anything, and they will do this.
Yeah, well, just wait. This is not the movie I want to make.
Oh, okay.
What they would do is, as the Romans would capture Christians, they decided, oh, these guys are pissing off the people in power. We're going to go free them from jail. So these 9 sisters, who all apparently learned how to do some type of kung fu, would break Christians out of jail and would wage guerrilla warfare against the Roman Empire and really fuck them up. Eventually, the Roman Empire, being the most powerful empire at that point, decided to wage war against these 9 sisters. They did find them. They did arrest them. They beheaded them.
Yeah.
And then years later, her and 2, so 3, her and 2 of the sisters, so 3 out of the 9 were awarded sainthood. But the other 6 apparently could get fucked. I don't know what the reasoning was.
There are rules. Only 3 of the 9 were magic. You know this. The 3 of them got the magic rings that God gave them, and they were able to do some manner of miracle, which is just close-up magic, but with a halo. And so
I'm just going to set this. This is for those 2. I've got 3 pages of notes.
Oh, God. Okay.
For our headliner thing.
Very good.
Because this is the new patron saint of my home.
Okay.
Just got to adjust my chair, prepare myself.
Settle in.
I don't know if for this one, I'm not sure if I should cross myself, if I should make some type of sword out of the blood of my enemies. I don't understand.
First, try to cross yourself. We'll see if it hurts. See if it burns you somehow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying. We
That's
all
not
know.
the Lord, by the way. That's your enlarged heart.
The doctor said I was fine. Hold on. I gotta take a nap. Hold on. Hold on. Ugh, I'm back. I'm
I
good.
really hate that I wake up like that every time.
Yeah, I used to do a joke about that. That I knew I know it's time to like start changing my lifestyle because I wake up every morning like I'm coming back from the dead. Just how long was I out? I saw the face of God and it is angry.
No, that's just a sweat stain on your pillow, pal.
Yeah.
Dribbled with a little bit of vomit.
Yeah. And some type of bile.
How many types are there in here? Let's just say plethora.
Black, green, yellow.
Let's say a healthy mix. There's a healthy mix of bile.
All the colors of a real sad rainbow. So our headliner,
Mm-hmm.
and who I did 3 pages of notes because the more I got into it, the more I was like, this is batshit amazing. Not crazy.
Okay.
Amazing. There it is. All right. She would approve.
Lord. Okay.
Have you ever heard of Saint Olga of Kiev?
No, but she makes great chicken.
She does. I'm pretty sure that's where this came from, and you'll know why when I get to the end.
Saint Olga of Kiev.
She is a saint of the Russian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
So that should be a real good first clue.
Okay. It gives you the general gist. Like, you know the area of where it's taken you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saint Olga of Kiev, the Russian
Mm-hmm.
Orthodox Church. According to what I read, she is, quote, one of the most vicious and vengeful rulers of Kievan Rus, which Kievan Rus ended up being what we know as modern day Russia.
Okay. Okay.
She was married to the prince. She was not royalty herself, but she was beautiful. And Prince Igor of Kievan Rus.
Igor and Olga.
Yeah, dude.
I like it. I mean, it sounds like a Disney movie.
Already in. And I feel like if anything's going to convert you to any type of religion, it's going to be this story.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. And I'm not saying anything could. I'm saying if anything would.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. I'll see if the spirit moves me here.
It's going to. Or else, I think, is what it boils down to. So she married Prince Igor of Kievan Rus. And there was a neighboring tribe that felt threatened by them. They had joined this neighboring tribe in fighting the Byzantine Empire and had taken the Byzantine Empire, pushed them back, them in this neighboring tribe, which was, I forgot to write it down. Started with a D. Doesn't matter. D
Sure.
Actually, this is more of a like probably a C- effort on my research.
Yeah. Okay.
But as they finished, Igor was not pleased with this neighboring tribe
No.
because
The D
his people,
The D people. They had
the
big
D
dick
people,
energy.
they had little D. Because according to Igor, he was like, you're not pulling your weight. You're not worth your money. We spent more time fighting. I'm sorry. We're essentially pulling our funding from you. We're giving it to a different tribe. They took umbrage with this. Okay. They got pissed, and they decided when Igor was out with his hubris by himself, they captured him and they killed him in the most horrific way. So birch trees, if you're familiar with any type of wood,
I am.
they're flexible, but they're very strong. So they capture Prince Igor. They tie his hands behind his back, and they bend the birch trees down, they hold them, and then they tie either leg, his left leg and his right leg, to these birch trees, and when he's good and tight, they let him go.
They drew and quartered him with the fucking foliage?
Just halved him.
Oh! That's how you bifurcated Igor.
Yep, from crotch to crown.
Was he okay?
He didn't make it.
Okay, that's too bad.
He didn't make it, and as you might imagine, Princess Olga, displeased with this.
Probably not her favorite Tuesday.
No. She was very upset. And the tribe, the D people, little D energy, decided, well, we've gotten rid of Igor. And that Igor and Olga had a son. The son was only 3 years old. He was not old enough, obviously, to take control of the kingdom. So it was expected Olga stepped in. Olga stepped in with a big old bag of go fuck yourself, which is what I think she is the patron saint of.
Okay.
Olga is the patron saint of go fuck yourself. You want to fight? I'll fucking fight you. But she was also very smart. So that tribe was like, who the fuck gives a shit about a chick? What's she going to do? Our head guy offers that we won't come in and kill you and take the kingdom if you just marry him. And Olga said, well, and what that neighboring kingdom that was pissed off at Igor, they sent a boat of 20 people, thought 20 was enough, and said, here's the deal. You marry him, we won't come after you. Weak, demure woman. And Olga said, I'll tell you what, that seems very generous. You stay on your boat. Let me get my affairs in order. Tell my village, take it to my people. Please allow me the honor of that. And then come morning, I will go with you. And they said, that seems perfectly reasonable, weak and stupid woman.
And in the future, their descendants will be bringing a huge wooden horse in past the gates to allow the people to come out of. Sure, we'll stay here and give you time to plan.
Olga went to her people and went, hey, I talked them into these dumbasses to stay on this fucking boat. While they're on the boat, we're gonna dig a big old trench. There's only 20 of them. In the middle of the night, we're gonna ambush them. We're gonna drag them into those trenches, and we're gonna bury them the fuck alive.
Ah, that's interesting and more complicated than it needed to be.
Wait.
Okay.
So that's what she does. And these were 20 of the D people, 20 of their best men that they sent. And they ambushed them, threw them in a ditch, and buried them alive. And I'm certain that she had like 5 guys with gigging sticks that if the dirt started to get ruffled, they was like, yep, keep them down. Olga says to keep them in there. So she sends word back to the D people. All right, dude? And it says, your 20 men, thank you for sending them. I accept your offer to marry. It seems the only the right thing to do. It seems wise for my people. But the 20 men that you sent we have made them feel so welcome and so accommodated. And I know you want this land. They are here. I don't want to send them back because I don't feel safe without them here. If you could send a delegation.
They're really making the posies grow nice.
Oh, fuck. So she sent word back to the that she'll marry him, but please send your best. I know you already sent 20 of your best warriors, but send your chieftains, send your best people, because I don't feel safe leaving my home. I need good people to escort me back to your kingdom. And of course they went, absolutely. Look at this dumb weak broad. So they send their chieftains, they send all the heads of households, like all of the most powerful people in their town.
There's a lot of inbreeding going on with the D people. I feel like they don't sound like the brightest fucking bulbs.
She meets them at the dock, and there was like more than 20. I don't remember, like 500 of them that come off the boat. She greets them. There's people with her. They were like, please, it's been a long journey for you. Thank you for coming. Over here we have our bathhouse, because it's Russia. You got to have a bathhouse. Please avail yourself. We have laid a feast out. We've laid drink out. Avail yourself of our royal bathhouse, which apparently was huge. And once you have bathed and feasted and drank and celebrated, I will join you in the morning. On the boats, we will go back. And they all went, sure, you dumb slit. Let's go over it. Let's do this. They don't believe that this woman has a brain or any power. So as soon as she gets them in, she makes sure that they are good and having a good time. And she excuses herself. She goes out, she shuts the doors, she locks them in, and then burns the fucker to the ground.
Very good. She's a big fan of that's smart. The mass murder when you don't see it coming. If they don't have a chance to fight back, you tend to win.
It was all of their ruling class that she locked in and burnt to the ground. And then she sends another emissary back to the village and says, please forgive us. Your ruling class, all of your magistrates or whatever they were called, are having such a fine time.
She's playing how many times will they fall for this?
Essentially. She says they're having such a fine time, they will not be returning, and I feel very comfortable keeping them here to protect my kingdom, our kingdom.
We're having a barbecue. We're literally got a garden.
Got a pig in the ground. Got a big old fire. It's going to be a good time.
Olga has weekly meetings. She has weekly touch-base meetings with all of her, like, the rest of the execs. Like, any more really fucked up, interesting ways to kill a bunch of people at once? If you've got ideas, throw them at the whiteboard, guys. Really, there's no wrong answer here. We're spitballing. We're brainstorming.
I want to know who came up with this one, but I can only assume it was Olga.
Okay.
Because she's a beautiful. I want to convert to Russian Orthodoxy.
So she sends another emissary.
She sends word.
Bring me more people.
No. She says,
okay.
I will be coming with a small emissary, a small group. I ask, please, that because of the death of my husband at your hands, the only way I can marry you and have him pass on to the next life with honor, and I can feel good about marrying you and bear you.
So the guy that she was supposed to marry, she hasn't killed him yet.
No.
I thought he was part of the first 20. No.
Oh, no. He's not part of the first 20. He's not part of the second.
Okay.
He is still over in his kingdom.
Okay, I missed that part of the story. My bad. Okay, very good.
How glad no, it's good. We got it all ironed out. So Olga, and they said, of course. She's like, I need a funeral feast to pass him on to the next life, so that essentially he doesn't haunt us, so we can be happily married and combine our kingdoms. And the prince of D-Town is like, sure, seems reasonable. I love a good party. And so she comes with like a handful of people, but what she didn't tell them is she also had her army post up in the hills in the woods, waiting for the high sign. because when she arrives, they have the funeral feast. They have a big old party. And when everyone's good and liquored up and fucked up and passed out,
And not really concerned with the 500 people that aren't riding home anymore. Okay.
She gives her army the high sign. They come in and kill 5,000 people
Jesus Christ.
because she stayed sober. Everyone else is all fucked up, but she's like, don't touch the prince that I'm supposed to marry. I want him to see his kingdom crumble before him. That's not the best part, though, Zig. As she has killed 5,000 people, she has decimated this kingdom. She has destroyed what they have left. They beg for her mercy. They beg for her forgiveness. And she says, fine. You have taken such a toll on me and my kingdom by killing my husband, but I will show you mercy. If every household gifts me, and I guess this is a Russian thing, I'm assuming it is. She's like, you gift me 2 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each household, because I guess they would keep them as pets. Pigeons, I mean, we use carrier pigeons a lot.
Sure.
But people, I guess, kept sparrows as pets. But you gift me 2 pigeons and 3 sparrows from each remaining household. No more harm will come to you. And they were like, absolutely, that seems very fair. Thank you. You're generous. You're kind. Thank you so much. She's like, of course. And they take that. They get just outside of town. She stops the army. And they wait till night. And she says, all right, see all these fucking birds? Take a little bit of thread, some sulfur, and some cloth, and tie it to each of these fucking birds. And what I want you to do is light each one of these little bitches on fire, because what they're going to do
They're going to go right back home.
Yep, they're going to fly in a panic to the only thing that they know is home, which is the town.
It's like the World War II bat bomb that we fucking did on Japan.
Yep.
That she came up with thousands of years earlier.
She lights birds on fire who fly to these home, and because everything caught on fire at once, they couldn't fight it. People are dying in flames. The next day, she rides in with her army. They keep a few as slaves. They kill a few more just for the fun of it.
You're already there. Yeah.
And then they sell the rest as slaves. You know how she got sainthood?
No, because I was just about to ask, what are the qualifications for sainthood? Because she sounds like a very brilliant mass murderer. She's killed off an entire village by burying people alive, burning them in a bathhouse, and destroying them with squab. Like, she's inventive. I gotta tell you, she's got a head on her shoulders. That Olga, you gotta give her credit.
She decided she was one of the very first people in what would become Russia to convert to Christianity, because fuck it, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And so she got most of her subjects to convert. I don't know what most means.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that the ones that didn't convert, she said,
you see what I did with these fucking guys?
You see what I did with these pigeons? There is a great painting of this of Saint Olga online with her hands like out like the fucking crow, like Brandon Lee, and these flaming fucking birds coming, but then the halo around her goddamn head. It is so brilliant and beautiful, and
okay, you're right. This is a better Netflix pitch.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Are all female saints just badass people who killed a lot?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is. And you know what? I'm here for it. Get get Saint George and Saint Pussy Willow out of my fucking face. Give me a Saint Olga every goddamn day.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Olga. That's what I'm going to do some research on Olga while I'm licking my wounds for the rest of my hangover, because this woman's like killed my husband by ripping him in half with 2 trees. I think maybe it was just a Russian thing that they like to kill people in very interesting and inventive ways.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to phone this in. We're going to rip this guy in half with a couple of fucking trees. Okay,
oh yeah, you ripped my husband in half with a couple trees? I use flaming birds.
I killed you with sparrows when you were hungover. I got you drunk, let my people come in here and fuck you up. We didn't lose a whole lot of guys. Did you notice that? Did you notice every single time?
just Dale, and Dale wasn't doing great anyway.
No. Good old Olga. Igor always used to tell me, nobody asks if you fought fair, they ask who won. Yep. And I took that to heart immediately.
I love it.
Please, we got a feast. Go have a schwitz. Go have a schwitz. We covered the schwitz and thatch, and we're gonna burn that fucker down, right? Okay, very good. Excellent. Yeah. Try to get them all at once.
You know, while she was gone, she was like, all right, I'm heading over here, but I'm gonna want a bath when I get home. And everyone was like, yes, ma'am, absolutely.
We're gonna need to build a new bathhouse, but we're creating jobs for our own people.
Those fuckers that are growing my posies, I want you to take their bones and build me an infrastructure.
Put the crops over there as soon as that earth stops wiggling. My god,
that's Saint Olga, man.
And then she got the rest of them drunk on their own hooch and then fucked them up.
Yeah, she drank with them, she ate with them, and then when they all passed out and she was like, tee hee hee, I'm just a demure girl. Oh, you're good and sleepy, boys. And then these guys came in and went, yes, we will stick and stab. We've stick and stab real good for you.
And then she decided to become Christian. She went to other people. We're Christian now. They all went, sounds good to me. Absolutely. What do you want? What do you think? What do we all meet on Sundays now? Cool. I'll sing songs with you, lady. Whatever keeps me on Olga's good side.
She's just petting a blue jay, holding a torch. Just we worship Jesus now, and they're like, I don't care what we worship as long as you don't set my thatch hut on fire.
She's capable of anything. She killed guys with roasted fucking sparrows, man. I had to keep her away from the children, the Labradors. I don't know what she's capable of. Leave her the fuck alone.
I just like that if she's just sitting there and she's like, I like that puppy, and be like, give her the goddamn puppy.
Kind of woman you see sit across from her at dinner. She starts to look at a teaspoon and you, at the teaspoon and you. It's like, shit, please don't let those wheels be spinning right now, Olga. Oh god.
I don't want to give her my puppy. I don't want to get. What if she lights my puppy on fire? Well, then you better hope that she keeps it on a leash and it doesn't find its way home. That's what you better fucking hope.
Should we make her a saint? We better give her whatever she wants post death.
She's been dead for 400 years, but she's been standing there with her arms crossed for a long time. I think it's best if we just say, yes, you're a saint. Please don't light us on fire.
No, you're a princess, you're a queen, you're an empress, you're a dictator, you're a Jedi if you want. I don't care. Whatever you need to get through your day. Yeah, that's what we want for you.
Look, man, you want one testicle and part of my penis? That's fine. As long as I can still pee out of it, I'm fine with that.
I got off a hell of a lot better than the fuckers with the pigeons.
You want to be a potentate and a grand poobah? Whatever you say. We will call you Dave if that's what makes you happy.
Absolutely. We just wanted to let you know we all got here just to tell you you're awesome. And please don't anymore. You're scaring everyone.
So that was my subject. Hey,
I'm a big fan of Olga. I'm a big fan of Olga.
Oh yeah, I'm getting.
I can look her up to Saint Olga of Kiev. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna. There's gotta be, if there's not a book written about her or something, there's gonna be.
Yeah,
I'll write it. That'll be my next.
You and I need to write a movie about Saint Olga of Kiev, and go from there, because holy shit, she is rad.
And her catchphrase will be, "Hey, fucking look at this."
You thought that was bad. So what'd you learn today, buddy?
Well, I learned that I found one thing about Christianity that I actually agree with. Olga gets a statue. Somewhere Olga gets her goddamn statue. She should be remembered throughout the annals of history.
Yes.
I still haven't learned if it was your first or second trip down with the story about the kids. You never told me if it was the first or second. So that's just going to haunt me for the rest of my life. So I didn't learn that.
Well, I'm very sorry.
I literally wanted to deliver that so much better. I had a better joke to bust your balls, and I should have written it down, but there's no pen around here, so I just look like an asshole. Which is fine.
And that's what happens when you don't give Saint Olga her due before you try to speak.
True. Shit, she's coming. She's coming.
Look around.
I want to kill them all in a very interesting way. Is there a way to make their pet birds kill them?
Is that a cardinal with a bick?
Do you care if the birds survive? That is really not the cards for me to care about that. No.
I'm sorry. Is that a tufted titmouse carrying a Zippo? We gotta go.
And the last thing that I learned was actually on my own. I learned that there are some people who are more apathetic than me who will take a shit in broad daylight in front of a mom and pop pharmacy. That is apathy at its magnifique.
Yeah. And I thought we were the apathetic duo, but that.
I mean, I feel I owe society nothing, but this man he's on another level. God, Jesus.
He is my new hero.
What have you learned?
I learned that I am now Russian Orthodox because I'm afraid not to be.
That's a very good point. I mean, if I need to go online and certify somewhere, that's fine.
I'm changing everything because I'm scared that Saint Olga, I've said her name multiple times, she's gonna show up.
Oh yeah, don't Bloody Mary that shit. Don't do it in the bathroom mirror, especially not after midnight. You'll freak yourself out.
Yeah. Yep. And I learned that I shouldn't drink hazy IPAs right before we record. And I learned that this blue t-shirt really makes my eyes pop.
You like making your eyes pop, and I love that about you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that people are going to listen to this in 1,000 years just to listen to the progression of our health going downhill marginally every single episode. In episode 3, 4, back when the sound was real shit, they didn't sound like they were dying, but 1 year in, Jesus
Christ, what is wrong with these guys? Just eating from the inside out. All right, buddy, I got a secret to ask you.
Okay.
Did you know I love you?
That's the secret to ask you? Yeah, I love you back. Can we talk about the fact that this broad's got a fish in her mouth?
She does. You know what though? Where your chair is.
Parts about hanging out with these guys. God damn it, son of a bitch, motherfuck.